Why is there still a discussion on Twitter about whether or not $30 is enough for a man to send you for your lunch while you're at work? Y'all hoes need to stop pump faking like y'all living like that for real. I hate that fake bougie shit so much. Ho, you are not getting no takeout from Ruth Chris on your lunch. Okay? You don't even do that once a month. Y'all hoes need to stop that fake bougie shit. Okay? Bitch, the only bitches that's mad about a man sending them $30 because they feel like it's not enough is a hoe who account is negative 28. Bitch, I would be mad too because $2 is not even enough to get a bag of chips from some of these vending machines nowadays. So I get it. Y'all hoes be pump faking so bad. Baby, $30 is enough for me to get a good soul food plate and have snacks on my desk for the rest of my shift. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
See, she knows this. We know this. The women who say this know this. All their co-workers know this. The guys who send the money know this. And the thing about the internet, it's just become a wasteland for like just disingenuous opinions, posturing, and just a lot of people. And it's not even just women, just trying to create an image that is not reality, trying to set standards that don't reflect what should be expected and what you actually expect and what you would actually be cool with getting. Because it's like, you hear this, right? You hear chicks say, oh man, $30 ain't enough for a lunch break. You know, if he not sending, 100, da, 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 da. We done seen all the memes for years. And guess who is the leader of this? Black women. And shout out to her because she is a black woman speaking against the bullshit. And I want y'all to understand that black women and just women in general are not a monolith. Everybody is not the same. I know every man listening understands that, but every time a chick has an argument, like, they hear an argument about like black women or women in general, they say, well, not all. So you gotta say that for those people. But getting past that, like, you have 30 minutes and in some cases 45 minutes, in some cases an hour, just to eat. And every single day you go to work 5 days a week, you're going to eat. These people are getting McDonald's, Arby's, Wendy's. They getting fast food most of these days because you don't got time to sit in a restaurant or make an order to a restaurant. In some cases, you'll pre-order something at a restaurant. Typical restaurant meal is going to run anywhere, and this is me keeping it a whole band with you. It's going to run $20 to $30. And that's just on the I want to eat kind of good because you could really get like a $12, $15 entree meal. So when you understand that, which everybody does, $30 is beyond sufficient for lunch. But when it comes to this social media shit, it's about how much can we exploit men and how much can I create this image like this is my reality.
Serious question. How do the computers in Japan look? Like, someone please let me know. Like, do you guys have the symbols? There's no
go online! Look it up! You're using a phone! Research! Look it up!
Mind you, she is a female TikTok user. Women were the main ones, and gay dudes. I have a video on this around a TikTok ban. They were the main ones pushing a narrative. The TikTok is the best source of information on the internet. They said that in the era where we have all these Chat GPT, DeepSeek, Gemini, Google Gemini, AI bots. They said that. They said that in an era where we have Amazon, Alexa, and Siri. And they said that in this era. They said that in an era where we have Google and YouTube. They literally said the TikTok is the best source of information online. And what did I tell you? For unresourceful people who like to be force-fed information. These people who say that are not resourceful people who go to seek out information, and this is just proof of it.
When you pay the bills. See? And a man is only as good as his last check,
Oh boy.
right? You're only good as your last check. And let me prove my point. When a man takes care of a woman, that's like, in a sense, owning a home, owning a car, right? You lose your job, you get sick, they repossess it. If you're taking care of all the bills in the house with a woman, she's driving a nice ride, you get sick, you can't pay the bills. It's very slim that a woman will stick around if you're getting evicted. It's very slim that she's gonna stick around if your money went from 30, 40, 100,000, 500,000 to zero. I don't know too many women. There's no disrespect. I wouldn't do it. that's gonna stick around if you went from successful to homeless.
About 80% of the advice he gives, I hate. I got a whole video on him. That's TK Kirkland. But listen, we gonna unpack this a little bit. If you lead with money, if you put yourself in a position where being a provider is one of your primary sources of value to a woman, he is right. And let me be honest, if you have a long-term relationship with a woman, especially a marriage, specifically a marriage, you will be in a position where you are looked at to provide. I'll be honest with you. That is our masculine role to some degree. We could sit here and debate about whether you should provide for a woman or not, but family units are really what make a good society. That's not something that's debatable. We got all these single mother statistics. And when you provide for a family, one of the people that's a non-negotiable that you have to provide for are your kids. Now, this is a spoiler alert right here. He's not fucking married. He's like 60 something. He's not married. And when you listen to him talk, he has no plans of getting married. And I've done videos about the old bachelor as well. If you plan on being an old bachelor, yeah, you better get your money up. Because some of the things that genuinely attract women to where you don't have to have money, some of those things are going to go as you get older. Now, I only got a limited time to give you this insight I'm about to give you. I've been reading The Manipulated Man, and he basically fell for the manipulation. When you think that your core value as a man, that most of your value as a human being that is a male, comes from how much money you make. You have been conditioned to think that way. And this is for the benefit of the woman. And not even just for the benefit of the woman, for the benefit of society, for us to be productive in society. But as far as women, they're not conditioned the same way as men. So they would never think at any point in their development that their worth is attached to what they can do for society or even for a man. Now, I'm reading the book, and this is one thing that the book doesn't touch on because it was made in 1971. From what I've seen, it doesn't touch on hoeing. It doesn't touch on women doing a lot of fucking for nothing, just for high fives and handshakes, validation. Because the thing is, we could sit here and we could say that women look at men as a pocketbook, a wallet, or anything like that. We could say that. But the men that don't have nothing, that they be so anxious to fuck, what do they have? There may be some physicality to that man as far as his looks or his stature, whatever it might be. But also what comes with that, there's going to be personality traits that trigger her emotions. When you look at things like popularity, social proof, and pre-selection, those are the lowest forms of status. Those are not like wildly hard to attain. Yet they still compel women to give the coochie up. So when you hear things like, oh man, you only as good as your last check as a man, that is simp talk. That is the talk of a man who leads with his money and has nothing else to compel a woman to submit or to give him coochie. Because the thing I want you to know, for every Rob Kardashian, multimillionaire, who is fucking a Black China, a hot stripper whore, or we could just say a woman that he thinks is out of his league, there is some other guy who is lifting the weights, who is smashing a bunch of other chicks, that ends up smashing your Black China, and he doesn't have no type of money. She don't care what type of money this cat got, because she's fucking with him for different reasons.
I'm sorry. I f with a nigga, like, it's crazy because I like a nigga that's not on my level, but then it's like, damn, like, that mean I ain't gonna get no trips. I ain't gonna get no J. I ain't gonna get no this. I ain't gonna get shit but love and some good words. Like, I ain't trying to hear that. I do be trying to hear that sometimes, but it's like, damn, like, that's all I'm gonna get. It's like, now at this point, you gotta pick between the luck, the manyan, or you gotta pick between the words, the good nothings.
See, the stars align for that lineup right there, because I didn't even line those two up on purpose as far as the TK Kirkland clip and this right here, because this affirms everything that I just said. You guys should already know about the lover-provider dynamic. Some guys are lovers, some guys are providers. That's how women look at these two guys that they will give the coochie to. Is he the lover? I give him the coochie because he makes me feel good emotionally. Then you have the provider. He might not make me feel the best emotionally, but I want to secure resources. So this pussy is about to go to him, the highest bidder. And it was easy for her to identify, okay, the guy who got the trips and all that stuff, he got the check. But when it came for her to identify what the other guy was, she was having trouble with that. Go back and watch it. She was having trouble trying to identify, and she said those sweet words, those sweet nothings. She had trouble identifying what it is about guys that she actually likes, because women don't know. They just be feeling. They just be going through the motions. And that's how come you're not going to see them come out and say, yo, I like a guy that can make me feel good. No, they going to tell you about 50-50. They going to tell you how they want to go on trips. They going to tell you how they need to get flown out and all that stuff. They're not going to tell you, listen, I don't care what you got. If you are known as a local community coochie slayer, if you are somebody that's got a lot of status in the area, but you might not have nothing, if you got a good swag to you, if you dress good, if when you try to talk to me like, I get surprised at your personality and then fall in love with your personality for whatever reason, like, yeah, you're the one, no matter what you have. Women are not going to come out and say that, because what incentive, like, how does that make anything better for them if they come out and say that? Those guys that make them feel that, they're going to find those types of guys regardless. It's raining dicks. They're going to find guys that make them feel good regardless. They're not going to find that provider. A lot of them are struggling to do that. That's how come you hear a lot of this stuff coming out as far as, man, you paying half the rent, you my roommate, like, that stuff. And the last thing that I have to say, she easily identified what she was using the rich man for. When it comes to the guy who she's not with for the money, it was hard for her to even identify. Like I already mentioned, to identify what he is, but it was hard for her to identify that. She is using the rich guy. I need you to understand that, know that. Don't let these chicks put you in a category to where you are only useful for your resources. And check this out. That's just my opinion. I'll say this as well. If you do put yourself in that situation, be prepared for everything that comes with it. Be prepared to get cheated on by because what's the boy's name? Brett Favre? Not Brett Favre. What's the quarterback name? Tom Brady? Multi-millionaire, bro. His wife, supermodel. She's also a multimillionaire. Who did she end up fucking with, man? She ended up fucking with the personal trainer, man. The personal trainer ain't motherfucking getting more money than either one of them, man. Be prepared for that. Be prepared for the personal trainer to be yoga stretching your girl pussy out.
Yo, these old niggas be so mad at the job, right? So tell me why they gave all new hires a $4 raise. So now we make $20 an hour, right? So the old niggas like, oh, I ain't training shit. They make the same money I'm making. I ain't training shit. They be like, I ain't even gonna teach a nigga how to change a boat. I'm like, man, these some hating ass old ass nigga, man. These some hating ass. They be hating on the young nigga, man. So tell me why they be watching the nigga talking about, oh yeah, I be seeing you go back and forth to the bathroom. Why you think you need $4? Man, shut your pussy ass up, nigga. You the one been working here for 18 years, punk ass nigga. You been working here. You been working here, bitch. You mad cause you ain't supervisor yet, fuck nigga. This ain't my lifetime playing, bitch ass, hoe ass nigga, suck ass, lollipop ass boy. Y'all nigga, y'all got the game fucked up. This a young nigga season. Y'all don't want to decide to stay here 24 years and 6 and 7 and 18. Man, sit the fuck down and go get you some money, partner. Don't worry about me, cause I ain't here for a lifetime. I'm here for a season.
Now, while this is funny, with the economy stuff that I talk about, it's a lot we got to talk about. It's going to be more than 2 minutes as far as this. We probably going to stretch this out to 10. That's just me predicting. But we got a few things to go over. The first thing, let's just get the elephant out the room, man. $20. It doesn't matter where you live. They live in Alabama. $20 per hour in 2025, you're not making it, bro. You're not making it. I don't care. You could throw a motherfucker anywhere in America. You're not making it off $20 per hour. And I want to tell you something. If you didn't understand, if you don't know, if you take that same $20 an hour and throw it to somebody back in 2017, throw it to somebody back in 2015, throw it back to somebody in 2008, they living pretty decent. They're not living great, but they getting by. They can afford everything. They can, if they can't afford life at that point, in those years that I mentioned, then you got something else going on. Or you might live in some place like New York or something like that, NYC, to where it's like, that's kind of not doing anything at a lot of certain points, or LA or something like that, because, you know, they just mad expensive in those areas. But most of America, you get it. So that's the first thing, just getting that out the way. The second thing that we need to look at, and this is just going to be very quick, another elephant in the room. You working 20 years and making $20 an hour, bro, like, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. I would have been left, and I feel them. Like, you got to look at the ceiling. And unfortunately, you know, if you are somebody that works in these factories and stuff like that, you know, $20 an hour was great at one point. You might be 40, you might be 50, you might be 60, getting ready to get your pension or whatever the case may be, your retirement, whatever it is, bro. You might be up there. You might be like, I just got to thug it out a few more years at this job. It's harder for older people to adapt because of the attachment that they have to that job. And this is the thing that I'm going to, so that's the point right there. The next thing I'm going to address is the manipulation by the job. The manipulation is, well, we know that these motherfuckers have their 401k attached to this job or whatever the case may be. We know that some of these motherfuckers is here for the benefits and they get a pension or whatever. I don't know if this company get a pension, but we know that a lot of these people, as far as these older people, are thugging it out to get to that point where they could get to the finish line as far as retirement and stuff like that. They need us. We don't need them because we could get more young motherfuckers in here. So fuck you. And we not really gonna do shit for you. So that's how the job go. That's how they manipulate the shit. And it's like, yo, you're going to stay with us because you need us. So fuck you. I'll tell you this, man. Every job that I done been at really done had a fuck you mentality to any entry level employees. And even then, it's a certain point. Like when you look at, because I used to work at call centers. So I'm going to give you an example. You got the person who is at the bottom on the phones. Then you got the person who they give a vest. They'll call them like a SME or something like that. PS, whatever term that they have. That's the help. Then you have a supervisor. Then above the supervisor, you have the manager of the department. Then above them, you have the director that is the guy who runs the whole building. Outside of the director, they'll have something like the client or whoever, like corporate, whatever the case may be. Those people who don't exist within the building don't give a fuck about anybody in the building. Like, they give no fuck if you got shot in the building. They don't care. They don't care. So what they are going to do is to make the money. They're going to make you guys do uncomfortable things, and they're going to tell the director to make them do it. The director also doesn't give that much of a, if he had to give a percentage of a fuck, the director gives anywhere from 1 to 18% of a fuck, not even a full 20, about the people on them phones, right? So he understands, or she understands, that they got to do what they got to do. So they administer the shit all the way down. By the time you get to the supervisor, right? Remember, the supervisor is directly above the people on the phone. Supervisor might give 40% of a fuck to 80% of a fuck. It definitely varies because they're not too detached. They are one demotion away from being back on the phones, if we're being honest. I've seen it happen too many times. So with that being said, like, these companies don't give any type of a fuck about you. They don't give any type of a fuck. The further you go up, the less they give a fuck about you. And they will do things to fuck with you and get the most, just to maximize the effort out of you without incentivizing you anymore. They will do that. So when you look at this shit, this what they did as far as giving the other people a raise and not doing anything for the older people, the young nigga can't see it. And we'll get to some of the other things that he said in a moment. But it creates a crab in a barrel environment. He can't see because he hasn't lived like 20, 30 years. Like he hasn't lived 30 years. He can't see how unfair this is to the people who have been working there, right? So if you have, and then you are in a position, depending on how many years you put in, where it's like, do I really want to give up this pension? Do I really want to, like, you know, fuck this 401k up, have to move it and all this shit? Like, you know, do I really want to do that? Do I really want to fuck up retirement? That's how some of them feel. So when we get past all of that, let's go to the young guy's perspective. He said because these guys are upset that they didn't get a raise and that they don't want to train the young dudes, that they are hating. I don't think that that's necessarily a jealousy to the young dudes or the new employees or anything like that. I don't think that that's jealousy. I think that it's anger because they are not being appreciated and they are not getting a raise. And now these people who just came in are equal to me and I done been here 10, 15, 20 years. It's not fair. Now, the one thing that the little dude said, well, not little dude, but the young dude, he said, you know, you mad because you didn't get a promotion. And that's one of the things about these types of jobs, or just jobs in general. You can't, and I learned this, you can't sit nowhere too long and not get promoted. You cannot sit, no, bruh. I don't care what you're doing in life right now, bro. I don't care. I done seen too much and I'm not even 40. You have to, like, if you plan on, you know, getting better money than you get now and stuff like that, you doing like a lot of these non-career jobs to where you don't have to get a certification and there's not a high barrier to entry, the best thing you can do is get promoted and have that on your resume to where, you know, this is what you do now. And now you can move laterally in manager and supervisor positions and stuff like that. And then even if you got to come in at an entry level position, they like, oh, nah, this motherfucker, he got 8 years of supervisor or manager experience. Like, we could use that, all that stuff. You know, so that's one of the things you need to do. So, like, when you don't get promoted, when you just cool with coasting, this is the type of shit that happens. They play with your top. They fuck with you like that. As far as raising the other people's rent, not rent, but wages, and not raising yours. They fuck with you like that. Even as a supervisor and stuff like that, you'll get fucked with. I seen a company get bought out by another company, and then the other company that did the buyout, they got rid of all the supervisors' accumulated PTO, all of it. So motherfuckers had 200 hours saved up. They never take vacations, and they like, one day I'm just gonna empty the clip. You know, they don't do that. So these companies will fuck with you. It's that simple. So I don't look at them not wanting to train the young dudes as animosity. I look at that as fuck the company. I don't look at it as something specific towards hatred as far as the young dudes. Now, this is where I could be wrong, and this is where the actual hating is. When you start doing weenie shit, like talking to a dude like, yo, you be going and doing too many breaks. Is it like, first off, you're not a supervisor, bro. Stop being a bitch. And I'm not talking about the dude on the screen. I'm talking about the dude who approached him. Like, whoever that dude is a fucking weenie. You leave people alone. You do your job. Don't be there trying to be the job snitch or no weird shit like that. It's a lot of fucking weirdos when it comes to these jobs. So as far as the young dude, that right there, the dude is hating on him. And that right there is a place where I feel like he is valid. You know, he could say all the, like, I'm here for a season, all that stuff. But I'm going to tell you something, man. And this is some real shit. If you're not getting a CDL, if you're not getting a degree, if you're not trying to get some certification right now, you just at this job, like, you could say that this is a season and shit like that, and you got time to figure your life out because you're a young dude, but bruh, I'm not about to sit here and tell you that the future is fucking. You got to look at what's going on in the country. Like, this shit don't really look good. It's a lot of layoffs happening. A lot of AI. It's going to be a lot of robotics. Long story short, shit not safe. Let me know your thoughts. I'm out.